Listen to me. You got 30 days, not 30 years, not 30 months, just 30 days. And in these 30 days, you either change your life or you stay exactly where you are. You tired of making excuses. You tired of saying one day, that day is today. Because let me tell you something, greatness ain't reserved for the lucky. It's for the committed, the disciplined, the ones who wake up every day hungry for more. You say you want to be better. You say you want to grow. Then show me. Show yourself. Because in the next 30 days, you either make progress or you make excuses. And excuses, they don't pay the bills. Excuses don't change lives. Action does. So, let's go. No more waiting. No more wishing. It's time to execute. When you set out to improve yourself in 30 days, the very first step is to define your goal with absolute clarity. You can't hit a target, you can't see, and you can't achieve something if you don't even know what you're working towards. The problem most people have is that they say they want to get better, but they don't specify what better looks like. They say they want success, but they never define success. They say they want to be more disciplined, but they never clarify what discipline means in their daily life. If you want to see real transformation in just 30 days, you have to be laser focused on what exactly you're trying to change and improve. It's not enough to say, I want to be better at my job, I want to be healthier, or I want to be more productive. That's vague. That's weak. That's not going to get you up in the morning fired up to attack the day. You have to be specific. You have to say, I want to increase my sales by 20% in 30 days. I want to lose 10 pounds by following a structured diet and workout plan. I want to wake up at 5 a.m. every day and spend the first hour reading and developing my mindset. That's the level of specificity you need, because once you have a clear goal, everything else falls into place. Once your goal is defined, you now have the ability to reverse engineer the process. What does that mean? It means breaking it down into daily actionable steps that will get you closer to that goal. If you say you want to increase your sales by 20% in 30 days, then you know you need to make more calls, send more emails, follow up with more clients, refine your pitch, and improve your closing skills. If you want to lose 10 pounds, you need to commit to a specific diet plan, track your calories, exercise consistently, and stay accountable every single day. The clearer your goal, the easier it is to build the roadmap to get there. But here's where most people go wrong. They set a goal that's too broad, or they don't set a goal at all. They wake up hoping to get better, but they don't have a concrete plan. So what happens? They go through the motions, they put in effort, but they don't measure it, they don't track it, they don't evaluate what's working and what's not, and after 30 days, they're in the exact same place they started. This is why defining your goal is the most important step before anything else. You can have all the motivation in the world, but if you don't have direction, you'll waste your energy running in circles instead of moving forward toward your objective. Another mistake people make is setting unrealistic goals. I'm all for thinking big, but if you say you're going to make $1 million in 30 days and you've never made 100, that's not motivation, that's delusion. Your goal needs to be challenging, but achievable. If you've never worked out before, don't say you're going to run a marathon in 30 days. Say you're going to run a mile every day and gradually build up. If you've never read a book before, don't say you're going to read 30 books in 30 days. Say you're going to read for 30 minutes every day. The key is to set a goal that stretches you but doesn't break you. It should push you out of your comfort zone, but not be so unrealistic that you give up before you even start. Once your goal is set, the next step is to write it down. There is power in writing down your goal. It makes it real. It makes it tangible. It forces you to commit. It's not just an idea floating around in your head anymore. It's a concrete commitment. You should write your goal down and put it somewhere you'll see it every single day, on your mirror, on your phone, as a wallpaper on your desk, wherever you need to place it, so that it's always in front of you, reminding you of what you're working towards. And don't just write it once, repeat it to yourself every morning and every night. Remind yourself why you started, why this goal matters, and what's at stake if you don't follow through. Because when you define your goal with clarity and lock it in mentally, eliminate the guesswork, you eliminate the confusion, and you eliminate the excuses. You wake up every single day knowing exactly what needs to be done, and you execute with focus, discipline, and intensity. When you decide to get better in 30 days, the key to making that happen is creating a daily non-negotiable routine, because success is not about what you do occasionally, it's about what you do consistently. Too many people rely on motivation to get things done, but motivation is unreliable. Some days, you wake up energized, ready to attack the day, but other days, you don't feel like doing anything. And if you only take action when you feel like it, you'll never make real progress. This is why you need a daily routine that removes the need for willpower and turns your goals into habits that become second nature. You don't think about brushing your teeth in the morning, you just do it because it's a habit, and that's exactly how you need to treat the actions that will take you toward your goal. If you want to transform your life in 30 days, you need to identify the key actions that will drive that transformation and lock them into your daily schedule without any room for negotiation. The problem most people face is that they set a goal, but they don't have a structure in place to make it happen. They wake up without a plan, and they hope to find time during the day to work on their goal, but then distractions come in. Work gets busy, their energy fades, and before they know it, the day is over, and they didn't do what they needed to do. That's why a daily routine is so important, because it removes uncertainty and ensures that no matter what happens, you are moving forward every single day. The first step in creating a non-negotiable routine is deciding on the exact actions you need to take daily to reach your goal. These actions should be specific, measurable, and directly connected to your progress. If your goal is to lose weight in 30 days, your daily non-negotiables might be drinking a gallon of water, exercising for at least 30 minutes, and tracking your meals. If your goal is to build a new skill, your daily non-negotiables might be spending an hour practicing reading or taking an online course. The key is to make sure that these actions are clear and that they fit into your daily schedule in a way that makes them easy to execute. Once you've identified the actions you need to take every day, the next step is to schedule them in your day at the same time every single day. The mistake most people make is saying they will do something later or when they have time, but later never comes and time never magically appears. If something is important enough to you, it needs to be treated like an appointment that you cannot miss. Just like you wouldn't randomly decide when to show up for work or when to pick up your kids from school, you shouldn't randomly decide when to work on your goals. You need to decide exactly when and where these actions will take place every single day, and you need to commit to them no matter what the next thing you need to do. Remove any obstacles that could prevent you from following through on your routine. A lot of times people fail not because they lack the ability, but because they don't set themselves up for success. If you want to wake up early and work out, but you leave your phone next to your bed and hit snooze 10 times, you're making it harder for yourself. If you want to eat healthy, but your kitchen is full of junk food, you're making it harder for yourself. If you want to stay focused, but your phone keeps buzzing with notifications, you're making it harder for yourself. The key is to set up your environment in a way that makes following your routine effortless and eliminates the chances of you falling off track. Finally, you need to hold yourself accountable to your routine no matter what. There will be days when you don't feel like doing it. There will be moments when you're tired or distracted or tempted to skip, but that's when discipline has to take over. That's when you have to remind yourself why you started, why this matters, and what's at stake. If you don't follow through, you need to track your progress every single day. Write it down, check it off, keep yourself accountable, because the more consistent you are, the easier it gets, and before you know it, what started as a routine becomes a lifestyle, and that's when real transformation happens. When you decide to get better in 30 days, one of the biggest challenges you will face is distractions, because distractions are everywhere. They come in the form of social media, endless notifications, people pulling you in different directions, unnecessary tasks that don't move you forward, and even your own mind telling you to take a break or do something easier. If you don't eliminate distractions and take full control of your focus, you will find yourself wasting hours every day without making real progress toward your goal. Success requires an intense level of focus, and that means cutting out anything that slows you down or takes your attention away from what truly matters. The first step in eliminating distractions is identifying what is actually distracting you. Most people don't even realize how much time they waste because they are constantly switching between tasks, picking up their phone every few minutes, responding to messages, scrolling through social media, checking emails, and before they know it, the entire day is gone and they haven't made any meaningful progress. The best way to see where your time is going is to track it for one day. Write down every single thing you do and how much time you spend on it. At the end of the day, look at your list, and you will be shocked at how much time is wasted on things that don't add value to your life. Once you know what's stealing your time, the next step is to eliminate or minimize those distractions completely. If social media is pulling you away from your work, delete the apps or set strict time limits. If your phone is constantly ringing and buzzing, put it on do not disturb mode and keep it out of sight. If emails are constantly interrupting, you set specific times in the day to check them instead of letting them control your schedule. Distractions are not just external, they are also internal. Sometimes the biggest distraction is your own mind telling you to take a break, convincing you that you can do it later, or making you feel like you need to check something quickly. But those quick checks add up, and they take you out of a state of deep focus. The way to fight this is by setting clear rules for yourself. Decide in advance when you will work and for how long, and commit to it without letting anything interrupt you. Creating an environment that supports your focus is another key to eliminating distractions. If you are working in a place with constant noise, interruptions, or clutter, your mind will struggle to focus. Set up a workspace that is free from unnecessary items. Keep only what you need in front of you, and make sure the people around you know that when you are in work mode, you are not to be disturbed. This is especially important if you are working on a personal goal, because no one will hold you accountable except you. Another powerful way to eliminate distractions is to use time blocking. This means setting specific periods in your day where you focus entirely on one task and nothing else. During these blocks, you eliminate all possible distractions, turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, let people know you are unavailable, and dive deep into your work. Research shows that when you focus intensely without switching tasks, your brain enters a state of deep work where you can get more done in less time and produce higher quality results. Instead of working for hours with constant interruptions, commit to focused blocks of time with breaks in between to recharge. One of the biggest excuses people make is that they don't have enough time, but the truth is that most people do have time. They just don't use it wisely. Distractions steal time without you even realizing it. If you spend an hour a day on social media, that's 30 hours a month that could have been used to develop a new skill, work on a business, get in shape, or improve your mindset. When you become intentional about eliminating distractions, you take back control of your time and energy, and when you do that, you put yourself in a position to grow faster and achieve more in less time, because focus is the ultimate multiplier of success. When you decide to get better in 30 days, one thing you have to understand is that growth does not happen in your comfort zone. To many people say they want to improve, they say they want success, they say they want to change. But when it's time to do the hard work, when it's time to push through discomfort, when it's time to do what's difficult, they back down, they hesitate, they look for the easy way out, and that is why they stay stuck where they are. If you want real growth, if you want real results, you have to be willing to push through resistance. Because every time you feel resistance, every time you feel discomfort, every time your mind tells you to stop, that is the exact moment when you need to push harder, because on the other side of that resistance is the breakthrough you've been looking for. Resistance comes in many forms. It comes as fear, it comes as self-doubt, it comes as excuses, it comes as procrastination, it comes as the voice in your head that says, maybe tomorrow, or maybe I'm not ready, or maybe I should wait until I feel motivated. But let me tell you something, you will never feel ready. You will never feel like the time is perfect, and if you wait for the perfect conditions, you will never start. The key to success is to take action, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're scared, even when it's uncomfortable, because that is how you train your mind to push through challenges and develop the kind of discipline that leads to long-term success. One of the biggest reasons people fail to push through resistance is that they let their emotions control their actions, they let fear dictate their decisions, they let doubt hold them back, they let discomfort stop them from moving forward. But the truth is, emotions are temporary, fear is temporary, discomfort is temporary, but the regret of not taking action, that lasts forever. When you push through resistance, you are building mental toughness, you are training yourself to become stronger, you are proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. Every time you do something difficult, every time you push past your limits, every time you refuse to quit, you are rewiring your brain for success. Because success is not about talent, it's not about luck, it's about resilience. It's about showing up every single day and doing what needs to be done. No matter how you feel, resistance, a sign that you are growing. If something is easy, it means you are not challenging yourself enough. If something is comfortable, it means you are staying in the same place. But if something is difficult, if it makes you uncomfortable, if it forces you to stretch, that is a clear sign that you are getting better. The people who achieve great things in life are not the ones who had it easy, they are the ones who face challenges and refuse to back down. They are the ones who embraced the struggle. They are the ones who used every obstacle as an opportunity to grow. You have to develop a mindset where you welcome resistance, and instead of avoiding it, you have to train yourself to lean into discomfort instead of running from it, because the more you do it, the easier it becomes at first. It will be difficult, your mind will fight back, your body will want to quit. But if you stay consistent, if you keep pushing, eventually, what once felt impossible will become your new normal, and that is how you elevate your life. That is how you go from average to extraordinary, because every great achievement, every great success, every life-changing transformation starts with a person who was willing to push through resistance instead of backing down. When you commit to getting better in 30 days, one of the most important things you need to do, track your progress and adjust along the way, because to many people set goals. They start strong, they take action for a few days, or even a couple of weeks, but they never actually measure whether they are improving. They assume that just because they are putting in the effort, they are making progress. But effort without measurement is just guessing, and guessing does not lead to success. If you are serious about growth, you cannot just rely on feelings. You need data, you need proof, you need to know exactly where you started, where you are right now, and whether or not you are on track to hit your goal. Tracking progress is the key to staying accountable. It keeps you honest with yourself. It forces you to see the truth. If you are trying to lose weight and you never step on the scale, you might think you are making progress when in reality nothing is changing. If you are trying to build a business and you never look at your sales numbers, you might feel like you are working hard, but you have no idea if that hard work is actually leading to results. Tracking gives you clarity. It lets you see what is working and what is not, so you can make adjustments along the way. If something is not working, you don't just keep doing the same thing hoping for a different result. You analyze, you adjust, you improve. The problem most people have is that they either don't track at all or they track, but they don't use that information to make changes. They stick to the same routine, even if it's not producing results. They keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Instead of learning from them, they get frustrated because they feel like they are working hard but not seeing progress. But progress is not about how much effort you put in, it's about how effective that effort is. And the only way to know if your effort is effective is by measuring your results. Tracking also helps you stay motivated, because when you can see even small improvements, it builds momentum. It proves to you that your work is paying off, and that keeps you pushing forward. Without tracking, it's easy to feel like you're not getting anywhere, but when you have concrete proof that you are improving, even if it's just a little bit every day, it reminds you that you are on the right path. The key is to track in a way that makes sense for your goal. If you are trying to get in shape, track your workouts, track your meals, track your weight. If you are trying to improve your productivity, track how much time you are spending on focused work versus distractions. If you are trying to develop a new skill, track how many hours you are practicing and what specific improvements you are making. The more specific your tracking is, the more useful it will be. But tracking alone is not enough. Once you have the data, you need to use it to make adjustments. If you see that something is not working, don't get discouraged. Don't take it as failure, take it as feedback. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process. Every great achievement comes from trial and error, from testing, from refining, from figuring out what works and what doesn't. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't is that successful people don't just blindly push forward. They adapt, they refine, they improve. When something is working, they double down on it. When something is not working, they change their approach. They don't get stuck in the same patterns expecting different results. They take control of their growth by making smart decisions based on real results. The biggest mistake you can make is thinking that success is a straight line. It's not. You will have ups and downs. You will hit roadblocks. You will face moments where it feels like nothing is working. But if you stay committed to tracking and adjusting, you will always find a way forward, because progress is not about perfection. It's about continuous improvement. It's about making small, consistent changes every single day. And those small changes add up over time to create massive transformation.